Extinction Rebellion is back in the news. Haven't heard from them in a while, but now that it's getting warmer, they're up to their old antics. You know Extinction Rebellion, the climate activists. Oh, hold on. Let me show you this. This will refresh your memory. So these guys are just sitting in the middle of a highway. Now the Italians know how to handle them. They're just trying to get to work, get to vacation. Maybe they're trying to get home after a hard day's work. These guys are sitting in the street. Don't worry, this guy knows how to handle them. And then they scoot back in the road. He chucks her off to the side. This goes on for a while, and they keep replacing themselves. We'll come back to this later. So, what is Extinction Rebellion? Well, to make sure I give them a fair definition of what their goals are and who they are, I went directly to their website. And we're going to make ourselves more familiar with what their goals and their beliefs are. I have to be fair. I'm going to take it from their website. Now, Extinction Rebellion, about us. Extinction Rebellion is a decentralized, international, and politically nonpartisan movement using nonviolent direct action and civil disobedience to persuade governments to act justly on the climate and ecological emergency. Okay? Now, they have 3 basic demands. 1, tell the truth. 2, act now. And 3, go beyond politics. We're going to take a little bit of a side road, and we're going to go into these just a little bit and make sure we understand them completely. Tell the truth. Governments must tell the truth by declaring a climate and ecological emergency, working with other institutions to communicate the urgency for change. Well, okay, tell the truth. Here's the problem with these kind of people. And I don't mean the traditional, hairy, dirty, blue-haired eco people, tree huggers. That's not what I'm talking about. Not by these people. I mean ideologues. I mean people that are in a cult. No matter what you tell them, their truth can never be changed, no matter what kind of evidence you put in front of them. So even if the science changes, or there is undeniable evidence that the climate problems they think are happening are not actually happening. And I can give you some actual examples of that. Now, you may or may not remember, back in 1977, Time magazine said, "How to survive the coming ice age." Back in the 70s, we literally had a global cooling problem. We were going to face another ice age, and they scared everyone to death. Okay? That obviously didn't happen. And then, now in 2006, we've got global warming. Global cooling. Just a few years later, global warming. Now, you may have noticed they don't say global warming anymore. What do they call it? Climate change. When the first prediction didn't come true in 1970s, and that just fell on its face, they changed it to global warming. That only lasted a couple of years. Now it's climate change. Okay, so the science has changed. Here's another one. National Geographic. Rising seas. They literally pushed the idea and the prediction that major coastal cities would be underwater. Miami, Washington, D.C., New York City, Boston, some places out on the West Coast, all of Hawaii, Australia, some islands in Japan would just disappear. I don't know if you remember these articles, but they pushed them hard and heavy for a long time. None of that happened. None. Also, somewhere in the middle of there, they threw in acid rain. They've been trying to scare you with the weather for a long time. There's a guy who does a much better job of describing this than I do. His name is Dan Pena. I'm going to let him talk for just a second, and he sums it up way better than I could. This is Dan Pena. Dan is a foul-mouthed investor billionaire. And I included a section of this video where he was answering a question from a woman who was really mad about climate change, and he told her why climate change is nonsense. When I loaded this video up, it immediately got copyright claimed from London Real. Fine. I'll go ahead and tell you what he said and put a link to his speech so you can watch it, because it is glorious. What he basically says is, if climate change was real, you could never get a 30 or 40-year loan on a condominium or a building or a house anywhere near the waterfront. He invests in many, many properties, and he has never once seen an addendum on the prospectus that said, oh, by the way, all this property will be underwater in a few years. Then he says that he once took a plane ride with Al Gore, and he was very, very jealous because he came up with this scam first and Dan didn't. So check the link. It's hilarious. I hate to tell you, even the Obamas don't believe in this. They just bought an $11.75 million waterfront mansion in Martha's Vineyard. Do you think they would buy that if they thought it would be gone in the next 10 years? Well, it gives you something to think about. Prediction number 1. Back in the 70s, there literally was a global cooling problem. We talked about that already. Prediction number 2. If global warming isn't reversed by the year 2000, it will be too late to avert catastrophe. This was prognosticated in 1989. It is now 2022. Nothing has happened. Prediction number 3. We will be living in Antarctica pretty soon. 10 years ago, a group called the Forum of the Future predicted we'd be living in a world so dire we would actually have to move to Antarctica as climate refugees. That also didn't happen. One of my favorites, prediction number 4. Great Britain will be almost snowless thanks to global warming. Back in 2000, climate scientists had a dire prediction for those living in England. Snow is going to become almost extinct. To my friends in the UK, how's that working out? Oh, this is my favorite. We'll end on this one. Prediction number 6. We only have 50 days to save the world from global warming. This was in a Copenhagen agreement in 2009, that if they didn't solve the impasse they found themselves in within 50 days, the world was pretty much doomed. That was back in 2009. I think we have passed the 50-day mark. Nothing has changed. This goes on for page after page after page. Climate scientists have made mistakes. Okay, so back to 1, tell the truth. Now, the science has changed over the years. Their opinions don't. They're ideologues, and they're in a cult, and no matter what kind of evidence you give them, they are not going to change. Okay, moving on to number 2. Act now. Governments must act now to halt biodiversity loss and reduce greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by 2025. What they're talking about is petroleum. They call it fossil fuels, coal, natural gas. These are the things that they're fighting against. Now, 2 things here. Reduce biodiversity loss. Now, if you believe in Darwinism, that species will evolve and change over time to deal with predators, to deal with their location, to deal with climate, to deal with many number of things. Biodiversity loss is part of life. You can't literally protect everything of all time. If you could protect biodiversity loss, there would still be dinosaurs. You see how this works? Some things just don't live forever. They evolve or they die because a better predator or something that was better took over. Dinosaurs. That's it. That's what they want. But the other one is the one that really gets me. End greenhouse gas emissions. They want a net zero by 2025. You realize that's in 3 years, right? They want to ban all cars, all diesel, all trucks, all everything. Gone. Okay? Do you know what would happen if they did that? Let's say they get their way. Let's say they'd get rid of all petroleum products. No oil, no natural gas, no diesel, no jet fuel. Boom, it's gone. Let's say they get their wish and this happens right like that. Okay? First thing to go. No more ambulances. No more fire trucks. Oh, no more trash trucks. Uber Eats? Nah, that doesn't happen. Millions of people can't even go to work. Well, the banks will be closed because the employees can't get there. Restaurants won't be open. Well, for all the obvious reasons. Buses? Nope. Trains? Nope. Tesla? No, sorry. Most of the electricity generated in this country, well, about 80%, is still made from coal, and you're not allowed to have coal anymore. Let's do a scenario. Let's role play this out for a minute. You wake up in the morning. Ooh, you wake up a little late because your alarm doesn't work. Remember, the electricity is off because we don't have enough coal to power the electricity. So you got no alarms. You're going to have severe grid shortages almost right away. All right, you wake up, you head down, you get yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. Oh, sorry. Coffee beans don't grow in your neighborhood. So they grow thousands of miles away. And that takes a lot of trucks, boats, planes, probably some more trucks. Yeah, no coffee for you. Sorry about that. All right, don't worry about it. You'll just sit down and you'll have some breakfast. Do you have eggs? Do you have chickens running around in your backyard? Bacon, toast? What, you don't have any chickens? Oh. Well, I'm sure you have a pig to slaughter, and you know how to butcher that and cut it up and salt it to make bacon, right? No? No? Okay. Toast. Hey, listen, I'm sure you can mill your own flour. You've got yeast and salt laying around too, right? To make the bread? No? Ooh, breakfast is going to suck. All right, listen, gotten through breakfast, that's bad. Why don't you just go take a hot shower? Ooh, no, sorry, still no electricity. Your electric water heater? Yeah, no, that electricity's gone off, sorry, that's cold. You have a gas-powered heater? Yeah, you don't have any gas either, sorry about that. Don't worry, you can just take a cold shower. Oh man, the city's water pumps, they're all powered by electricity too. You won't even have any water at all. Ouch. All right, that's the first hour of your day without petroleum products. So, what about the people that need insulin in a refrigerator? Yeah, they're not going to make it. What about other life-saving drugs? No, sorry. I mean, unless you can make them in your basement. Are you a pharmacist? Can you make? No? Okay. Well, don't worry. You've got solar panels. Yeah? Okay. Hey, all the solar panels are made in China. So, we don't have many here. Certainly not enough to get the job done. You might get 1 or 2 houses here or there that are going to be okay, but society won't be the same. We'll just get some more. Oh, no. Those are made in China. We don't have boats anymore. Those big, giant tankers, the ones that carry the shipping containers, yeah, those use thousands of gallons of diesel an hour to go across the ocean. Don't worry, we'll just put them in a sailboat. You can get half a dozen solar panels in about 6 months. Maybe. All right, don't worry, we have wind turbines. Yeah, oh boy. Do you know how much coal it takes to melt the ingots in the metal to make those spinning fan blades? Yeah. Also, they use about 80 gallons of petroleum lubricant every year just to keep those ball bearings running. Yeah, no wind turbines. So, if we were to stop all petroleum products tomorrow, some experts say that 100 million people would die in less than a week. About 1 billion people would die in about a month. And the 50% of what's left would slowly starve to death. Or freeze, depending on what time of the year you're in. So that's their goal for you. That's what they're standing in the street for. They want to end all petroleum products for you. Do you support them now? Now, I'm not even sure these people really believe in what they're doing. Either that or they're terribly stupid, because their stated goals are going exactly opposite of what they're doing right now. Because of their actions for blocking this highway, now if you can look all the way down the road, there are hundreds, if not thousands of cars right now that are getting 0 miles per gallon because of these idiots. They literally are going against what they want. They're not very bright, and they should be treated as such. So the next time you see a climate activist, see if you can talk to them. I mean, not when they're in a group or blocking a street. That's mob mentality. It's too far gone at that point. But maybe you've got a friend who's really worried about the future of our climate. And you could let them know some of these times the climate scientists just missed the mark by a little bit. Then see what their goals are and see if they're aware of what the consequences will be. And I think if everyone calms down a little bit, we might be able to reach a solution that actually helps and is actually doable. I am not against treating the earth better. I'm not. You should see the size of my garden. You'd be shocked. I love trees, and I don't drive very much. I'm doing probably more for the environment than these people are. I think it's a good goal. I think it's a noble goal. I just think we have to do it the correct way. Bet you didn't see that coming, did you? Now go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Come on, it's green.